Icy roads are a concern this morning for people across the Quad Cities. Which schools are being impacted?
And President Trump gave his second State of the Union address last night, what he's calling for both parties to take part in moving forward.
WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News this morning.
Good Wednesday morning to you. I'm Alexandria Icamoni.
And I'm Redrick Terry. Thanks for joining us for Local 4 News this morning. Record-breaking cold made its way through the Quad Cities last week. Now, freezing rain leaves us with icy conditions.
It's created dangerous morning commutes. That's part of our continuing coverage. Local 4's Andrea Medina joins us live in downtown Rock Island with the latest. Andrea.
Good morning, guys. It seems like we haven't been able to catch a break right now. You can see there's a little bit of a mist going on right now, but it's not as bad as it was yesterday. We had that ice storm just kind of pouring down at us. And that ice storm, like I mentioned, that we did get yesterday, left a pretty big mess out here, covering especially like street signs, roads, of course, cars, sidewalks, you name it. It left a pretty much a frozen mess. Right now, we are in a Rock Island neighborhood near 6th Avenue and 27th Street. As you guys can see, the streets are completely covered in a sheet of ice, which can make it very, very dangerous if you are traveling around here or any neighborhood streets for the most part. However, the main streets are a different story. Road crews have been treating them all night, and for the most part, they are pretty good to travel on. They are just a little wet from the salt melting the ice, but aside from that, they are pretty good. Now, aside from the neighborhood streets being a big concern, you're going to want to watch out for messy driveways and sidewalks. A thick layer of ice is covering them as well. And if you're not careful, one slip or fall and you could really hurt yourself. Basically, if you're heading out the door, the message here is to be careful and to take it slow. The travel conditions for main roads have improved. Now, of course, like I mentioned, the only concern that you are going to have is the sidewalks, driveways, and neighborhood streets, of course. And because of those conditions, there have been several delays and school cancellations. And for a full list of that, we'll have a link on our website, ourquadcities.com. Redrick, Alexandria, back to you guys.
All right, Andrea, thank you. A Scott County program to push back on teen car thefts is one step closer to becoming a reality. It's called the Auto Theft Accountability Program. Local 4 News first introduced you to the idea on Monday. It would give teenagers a chance to repair their damage. The offender and survivor would work together on a 3-month plan. Charges against the teenager will be dropped if it's completed. The plan doesn't have to include money payment, but rather helping the survivor in other ways.
Some people and their parents can afford to just pay the deductible for the victim, but some can't. And I think it also provides some perspective for the victim to see what types of backgrounds these kids are coming from.
Scott County supervisors heard the presentation yesterday. The Juvenile Center's director says board members seemed open to that idea. A final vote is scheduled for tomorrow.
President Trump delivered his second State of the Union address last night.
It was delayed a week because of the partial government shutdown. Natalie Brand has the recap in our national headlines.
The state of our union is strong.
President Trump pushed for unity in his second State of the Union address Tuesday night.
Victory is not winning for our party. Victory is winning for our country.
Facing a divided Congress, the president warned Democrats not to let partisan investigations hamper U.S. prosperity.
If there is going to be peace and legislation, there cannot be war and investigation.
The biggest applause of the night highlighted a visible change in Congress.
More women serving in Congress than at any time before.
And most of them are part of the newly empowered Democratic majority in the House. But there were not many cheers from Democratic lawmakers as President Trump renewed his demands for a southern border wall.
Simply put, walls work and walls save lives.
President Trump stopped short of declaring a national emergency to build his wall. Lawmakers have just 9 days now to strike a border security deal and avert another partial government shutdown.
America is made stronger by the presence of immigrants, not walls.
Rising Democratic star Stacey Abrams, who lost the race for Georgia governor last year, gave the official Democratic response.
The shutdown was a stunt, engineered by the President of the United States.
In his speech, President Trump also announced he'll meet North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in Vietnam at the end of this month. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The president also drew applause from both sides of the aisle in mentioning new efforts to lower prescription drug costs, fighting childhood cancer, and ending the HIV epidemic.
A topic often dealt with alone is spreading across the Quad Cities. Starting at Augustana College, junior Haley DeGreve launched the Gray Matters campaign earlier this year. It's meant to bring more attention to mental health issues students face on campus and how to access help. She's organized dozens of students to hear their stories, and the junior tells Local 4 News even just the name of the effort has people looking closer at the campaign.
Researchers have found that a loss of gray matter in the brain is linked to mental illness, and so we really wanted to drive home this idea of that your brain does matter and the things that you are experiencing matter.
DeGreve also tells us she got a lot of support from the college administration. The campaign held their first big event last night in the Gerber Center.
A local organization is helping what they say is a forgotten group find their missing loved ones. The focus is on Indigenous women.
Sage Sisters of Solidarity's mission is to shed light on missing or murder cases relating to Native women. The National Crime Information Center says more than 5,000 cases of missing Alaskan Native American women 3 years ago. Local 4's Yukari Nakayama shares how it's making a difference.
2 years ago, Jo Ironshield and her sister Regina began their mission to spotlight missing and murdered Indigenous women. That's after hearing about the number of cold cases and the missing data.
The resources are very, very scarce. There's hardly any data. There's no database out there. There's no entity there.
And Ironshield says she believes there are even more young Indigenous women missing than what's being reported. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, murder is the third leading cause of death for Native women from 10 to 34 years old. In reservations, experts say that number could be higher.
It seems to be a heartbreaking story that's being told far too much in the Native American community.
She says not only have those Indigenous women disappeared from the lives of their families, but the media too.
We're here, we still exist, and we just want to be protected.
So she's helping Indigenous families from North, South, and Central America gain attention on their loved ones, like the Garcia family. They've been missing their cousin Nancy Garcia since May, last seen in North Carolina. We've been doing different types of searches, says Garcia's cousin, who did not want to appear on camera. She says they've gone to several resources in the Quad Cities where they live and in North Carolina, but the investigations aren't moving forward.
Some of these women, they don't have a platform like that.
Ironshield has lent a helping hand by organizing a vigil to raise awareness for the Garcia family, and she says she won't stop until the family finds peace.
People are starting to feel like maybe we're disposable, and we're not disposable.
If you'd like to help the Sage Sisters of Solidarity and the Garcia family find answers, we posted information on where you can get involved on our quadcities.com. 6:40 on this Wednesday morning, and the morning commute was definitely difficult for at least me this morning. How about you guys?
It was a slow one.
Very slow. You got all that slush outside and all that left over from last night. It's not pretty.
Yeah, not the good kind of like tasty slushies, you know, that you can get at 7-Eleven. No, just the gross kind.
I never had a slushie from 7-Eleven.
Yeah, Slurpee is what they call it there, apparently.
Gotcha.
But, you know.
That's right.
Get it right.
Yeah,
my bad. All right. 32 degrees out there this morning. Traffic moving along just fine, but slow. Definitely slow. Please be careful. There could still be some slick spots out there. Temperature-wise, we're going to climb to the upper 30s here today, so good news here as we head into our Wednesday. Bad news by the evening. A little more ice on the way. We'll time that out coming up in just a little bit.
Yeah, I just can't help but looking at those folks and thinking they might be going a little too fast.
Yeah, y'all need to slow down. Y'all crazy.
Yeah, calm down, guys.
I'm definitely the one driving like 10 or 15 miles an hour, like a grandma, trying to make it safe.
At least you're safe.
There you go. All right, Ashley.
Coming up, the cold weather doesn't make you think baseball, but it's just around the corner.
The Hawkeyes are getting ready for the season. Adam Russell has that more next in sports.
Time now, 6:41. You're watching Local 4 News this morning.
WHBF is local for you with Frederick Terry, Alexandria Ikamoni, and meteorologist Ash Simpson. This is Local 4 News this morning in high definition.